Hi there. I believe that we are live. I'm gonna try and pull up the live here on there we go, on my computer. Morning, Keisha. All right. I think I have got everything up and running. Can you hear me all right? Okay, I can hear if I have the computer on. So hopefully that means you can hear me too. Happy Sunday morning. Oh, yay. Happy Sunday morning to you. Today I'm gonna start getting into kind of Halloween things. I know this isn't exactly your favorite, but there I'm not a big like, skulls and bones and things like that. This is more cutesy Halloween, so hopefully uh, that this won't be too much for you. But Halloween's my favorite holiday, so I tend to make it last all month. Um, we are going to work with this washi to start with. This is Subtle Dreams, which is, I believe, connected with Every Minute a Story. And it's a different line that she has of washi tape. And so it's got slightly different themes to it. And this Nightmare Before Christmas theme is one of the themes that she has, and I absolutely love the movie Nightmare Before Christmas. So I'm going to start with this washi here that's got the little, floppy-haired dog, blanket dog. And we're just going to put that along the bottom. I'm kind of going to go with my old school planning style a little bit here, because as much as I really kind of liked this new design, and I don't know if you saw what I ended up doing here with these went really well in the beginning, and I ended up filling them out in the Just Scribble instead of in here. So I do have them kind of all filled out. I need to transfer that over. But I ended up finding out I liked this layout a bit more than I liked this layout that I did. And so I think I just kind of missed those sections that I normally have, and I got to have them in here, even though it was a tinier space. And these lines kind of bothered me a little bit. um, and there's nothing wrong with them if they work for people, but they didn't really work well for me, and so I found I just didn't come back to this page very often. So I'll backfill, because again, this is the book that I'm going to be keeping on my shelf for years and years, and as much as I might like this is right now just a design workbook that I'm working through ideas in, and so I won't be keeping this, so I want to make sure I have the information in here. Um, that is one of the reasons that I switched over from bullet journaling, is because I find that if it's not pretty, I don't come look at it very often. And so I can write down all the lists and to-do items and all the things, and if it doesn't look cute, I end up not wanting to use it. And so that's one of the reasons that it's so important for me to get the cute factor right on this. Because if I don't, then just I can't seem to make it work real well. I am also going to take this little, I used to do kind of weekend headers. I was reminded of that when I went through my old journals for the 10 years of spreads. So I'm going to put a little weekend header here over this weekend. I haven't done that in a while. Um, but I kind of like that blocking off of the weekend, and I think I might even take that a step further. I picked out some Tombows that go with these colors. So we have the orange that's picking up the orange and the pumpkins. I have this green that's going to pick up these little pumpkin stems. I've got the gray from these clouds down here, and of course the purple, which is my favorite. So what I'm going to do actually is I'm going to kind of really highlight the weekend. Um, yeah, I found that the cuter it is, the more often I want to spend time in it, and the more I actually get done, which is very, very good. If I don't spend time looking at all the things that I write, then it really doesn't matter how much I write, because I'm not going to get anything done. Okay, so we are gonna block off this weekend and make it all kinds of special. Because I noticed this time the weekend came this week, and I was not ready for the weekend. I didn't have anything really planned for the weekend other than book clubs, and so we just really didn't do much of anything this weekend, which is fine. I don't mind an occasional weekend like that, but sometimes it's nice to have something kind of stand out. So that is going to be the only section that I'm going to use the purple and the orange in. And then everything else we are going to do in the gray. And then I have job interviews. I'm going to put those in the green. So I'm going to have 3 this week. I have 2 scheduled and 1 is in the process of being scheduled. So the job hunt is going really, it's starting to have some movement, which is nice. It's going well. So I'm going to put those in very, very first thing. The book clubs have been fun. So far this week, I have had 2 silent book clubs, and those were just kind of, hang out and read. And I ended up not going to the one yesterday. So I didn't go to this silent book club. And then I have one this afternoon. After we get off of this, I will be finishing that book. I have a little bit more left. So it's going. Um, I kind of wish I had made it to uh, the one on yesterday, because I'm still trying to find people here in the area. I really don't know a lot of people, so I feel like that puts a lot of pressure on my partner to kind of always be doing stuff with me, um, and vice versa. So I'm just going to make little boxes like that for interviews. And this is to drive to, this one's in person. This is CD companies, and I have to drive to the interview. And I'm going to have to drive home. It's not too far, but it's um, it is in person. And then this one is MS Teams. And these are both companies that are on that those spreads that I did back here. So CD companies. I have an interview coming up. I had a first interview with Checkmate Design HR, and now I have another one that I'm scheduling with them. And we go way back to this spread now. This is where this DSP Designs comes in. So, it's been nice to be able to look back. I can see exactly when I applied, how long it took, which makes me feel kind of hopeful that some of the other places that I may have applied to will also be interested in contacting me. We are going to put in a big date night. Our last date night, my partner is a big, he loves the WNBA, the Indiana Fever. And so for date night, that's what we did. We went to Buffalo Wild Wings and watched a Indiana Fever game. So I think we're going to be back at the movies again this week. One of the reasons I kind of chose this theme is because I think that it will be nice to have these interviews kind of really pop the interviews and then whatever, we get up to on the weekends. So let's see. And I have my call with Dana, taking advantage of really, really connecting with friends during the time that I have off. All right. Now I need to run errands. I have been avoiding, I put this on my Alistair planning for that I need to run errands for a couple weeks now. And I have to get to the post office and get some SodaStream canisters mailed back before they end up trying to charge me for them. So I am going to block off some time on Monday morning and I am going to go get these things done tomorrow morning. I end up leaving it for the weekend, and because one of these tasks that I have is to go to the post office, they're not open on the weekend. So it ends up driving me up the wall. All right, so I have a little errand block in there. I am going to put in a plan with me because you guys are going to come back next week, I hope. So we'll do another plan with me on, I think, Sunday morning at 9:30 again. And I know YouTube doesn't give me an hour and a half, but by the time I get everything cleaned up and kind of get out of the mode of, going through and checking and making sure the sound was good on the live and making sure that I have all the pinned posts and everything up. That is, I like to block off the hour and a half for that. And then we will put, let's go 4:30. We're not going to do dinner early this week with the grocery shopping because there is a fever game today. But usually we try and get dinner and groceries done. There we go. And I'm trying to think if I have anything else. I think we might. We were talking yesterday about the Ren Fair, and we might try and do that here. We'll see how that goes. I am going to put a little over here for meals and maybe just kind of circle the week. So this is already circled, but it is so faint that I, in my old eyes, can't see it. um, so I think that is the bulk of what I have going on. I don't have a lot yet on Thursday and Friday, so I'm hoping to book some more interviews in there. I'm working on trying to schedule um, the one that I'm working on right now for Tuesday, so that I can kind of I try and go as early in the week as I can so that I can kind of save room in case I get more calls. This week I actually had three phone call interviews that came up. So having some open time was nice. That's another reason I didn't make it to the post office, but I can blame the calls all I want. The real reason I didn't make it to the post office is because it was just, for some reason, it's just not clicking to be on my radar. I am going to add some stickers here. So this is actually where I keep um, annual stuff, seasonal stuff, and holiday stuff. So in the front, I have kind of tabs and days of the month and all of those holiday or seasonal, annual stuff. Sorry. And then the monthly kits. Whenever I get them, I put them in here, and I have 2024 and 2025 monthly kits for the same month in each one. And then I have a tab for spring, summer, fall, which we could do a few little fall things because I do have kind of pumpkin-y. However, I have a whole just Halloween tab. And so this is going to be, I think, where we're going to draw from for stickers. And then I have a winter and then Christmas. So winter does have a lot of things that are kind of Christmassy themed. But this is just general winter. And then I have, like, for Christmas and Yule, those kind of more specific kits. And so it keeps everything really organized. So I know when I need a Halloween sticker or something like this, I have it. And I also know that I have some Nightmare Before Christmas specific stickers. And I'm really not loving this the word errand here. It is driving me crazy, which it shouldn't, but it's not cute and I don't like it, and it's making me a little nuts. I am going to take this little we've got this guy here in a little Polaroid, and we will put that with the plan with me because I think that's cute. And I'm going to take this little purple leaf here and just kind of tuck it between these days. Right there. We could take Jack and Sally and put them down here. I think I might do that, but I'm going to look at what else I've got. So I have a whole Nightmare Before Christmas sheet here of, different little characters. think this one with the two of them on the sofa would be very cute for date night. There we go. But I think I'm going to use these two guys. So I think we're going to use up this sheet. Um, I get really excited when I get to use up a sheet when because I am very much a person who buys stickers to actually use them. I know there are a lot of people who buy them and then they can't bring themselves to use them. I am not that person. I'm thinking though, maybe I need a colored box of some sort to kind of stick under them or to put them in. Hmm. I think we're going to use this gray sticker. And put that down here. And then we're going to put the two of them on the sides here. There we go. All right. I am going to, what have you guys got going on this week? Do you have anything fun going on this week? I need to hear about fun plans. I have nothing really fun planned. You know, um, when I have a good portion of money coming in, I don't really worry too much about deciding I want to do stuff because I know that I will pay for the stuff that I decide I want to do. But when my partner is kind of covering all of the fun stuff that we do, I tend to be very, very cautious about making plans. So we're going to put this in here. And I am just going to write over the top here, errands. I think my brain is breaking. One of these days, I'm gonna have to figure out or try doing like um, I'm gonna put that there, um, a Zoom where you guys can talk as well, and I can hear you because following in the chat is uh, different. It's great, but it's hard to be kind of looking down at the book and looking up at the chat all the time. Um, all right, so let's look at some of the other things that we might have on the calendar for this week. So this is our first week. We've got the interview, and then I added the other interview here. I didn't even write it on here yet. Could do bingo. I should put that. This is one of those little post-it note post-its. So it's designed to be removable. It's not a sticker. So I can put that here. And then if we decide we want to do it, we can. We were really surprised. We went to bingo the one time and it was absolutely packed. I had no idea bingo was that popular. But it was crazy, crazy busy. There is an author event, so I think I will put that in. I need to open up Facebook and find out when that is. Bear with me for just a minute while I open up Facebook and check my events page. When we first moved, I, of course, didn't know anybody or anything about the area, and so I went and liked all kinds of activities on Facebook, everything that I thought might possibly be interesting. And then and so now I can run through and see all of it on Facebook. Okay, let's see. We are going to get back to this. And I'm going to take this little kind of black and white sticker here, and we will throw this on October 1st. And this is because Inktober begins. I know I've got it in a little ink thing up here, but I kind of want it to be bigger so I see it. I like to participate. Have you guys ever done Inktober before? Inktober, if you haven't done it, is you're supposed to draw a sketch every single day. And then for the month of October, just a small sketch. It doesn't have to be anything major, but I enjoy doing that. Anytime I can do something artistic, it tends to make me pretty happy. Just getting out of my comfort zone. But I'm going to put, where do I want to put this? Let's put this up here. And on Thursday, we were talking about that author event. So now that is at 5:30. So let's go ahead and put that on. Let's make the decision now that we're going to go and meet Allison Kundiff. She is an author, and it's an author and writing workshop. So that sounds like fun. And I don't necessarily worry if it goes over a little bit. It just gives me a little bit more room to write, is kind of how I figure it. There we go. Yeah, we'll make the decision right now that we're going to go to that. So I will have to go drive to the event and then back home. Now, I know the event is probably not only going to take an hour, but I don't know how long it is. It doesn't say on the event page. So I'm going to have to figure out how long. And I don't mind that I don't have an end time here because I know I'm not going to schedule anything right up against that. So we just have one more little guy to get on this page somewhere. What else have we got? I am not sure. So let us just put him right here. There we go. So I have finished now a sheet of stickers. I'm so excited. Um, so what I usually do is I will cut this heading off. And this will go in my little washi graveyard at the back of my book. Um, you know, I got rid of that, these. Um, this is just kind of a record of all the sticker sheets that I use up. This particular book will have all of my setup sheets for 2026. So I know this will fill up a lot more. I have recently also started adding some of these little fruit stickers that you get on produce just for fun, because why not? I always end up loving this page. I'll show you what it ended up looking like earlier this year. And so it just ends up being a really, really fun and different page. So anytime I have like a little scrap of washi or something like that that I don't end up using, I will put those little pieces all in here. You can see from the when we did the alternate plan with me, if you were with me for that, I used that sunshine beach scene down here, and I cut that little strip off the top. Well, there's that little strip of sky right there. I don't throw those away and waste them. If there's a little scrap of something, it always goes on here, and it ends up making just the cutest collages at the back of the book. So I've always called it the, well, I shouldn't say always. I have recently called that the washi graveyard. But it encompasses so much more than just that. It just becomes a really fun page to look back on. I always enjoy these. um, and they always start off kind of weird looking, and then in the end, they become just a really, something really, really fun. So, oops, there we go. All right, we need to get some of our weekly stickers in for meal planning. There we go. And kind of feel a little bit all over the place right now. And planning is part of feeling all over the place. I do kind of feel scattered right now. I think that's just from not having kind of those set routines that come with, you know, having a job that you go to every day. So I feel like even when I'm doing this planning, like I forgot to write meals up here. I'm just kind of off a little bit while I'm writing. Let's put in our temperatures for the week. So we have got, it's going to be a warm one again this week, 88 and 58. I do not mind one bit. 88 and 57. It also means that my plants can stay outside. They have to come in if it gets below 50 because they like more of that tropical weather. So they come live inside once the temperature starts going below 50 at night. Um, I I also start spending more time inside once the temperature becomes below 50 at night. I am definitely a warm weather girl. It is not supposed to rain at all this next coming week. It's one thing I've noticed here in St. Louis is it's when it's dry, it is just dry. When we lived in Northwest Indiana, we lived at the tip of Lake Michigan, and so when it would get um, when the weather would get dry, it never stayed dry for like a full week. I don't think we ever went a full week without some kind of rain, something that got picked up over the lake. Um, all right, so we have all of that. Can that really be it? You know what I did forget to do is I know I put my colors in the description of the live, but I didn't put them down here. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. I haven't even used the orange yet. I need to find something to write with the orange. So we have 603 is the purple. 173 is the green. 933 for orange. And N45 for the gray. I keep looking at it and it should be done, but part of me feels like there should be more. I don't know if there just isn't right now anything more. We do have a Colts game in here, I guess I could put in. Again, my partner will be watching or want to be watching most of the time. He's one of those guys that kind of watches sports most of the weekend. So, but the Colts game is the one that is really, really important for him to watch. Um, but I don't think I think a lot of this is going to develop over the course of the week as I start to add in some more job interviews and as I start to kind of figure out some things to do, especially on Saturday. Um, so I think this is where I'm going to leave it today. I think it's cute. I like all of the Nightmare Before Christmas. That's a movie that I really enjoy. And so I like getting a chance to kind of use all of those. It has that kind of Halloween feel, and we know we're getting into the season, but it's not, really kind of in your face Halloween yet. That will definitely come, I'm sure. Um, you know what? I did not get to use this washi at all. um, we have little candy canes and those kind of things. But I don't really think that there is necessarily a place for that right now. So that's okay. We don't need to use all of it. I am going to do a little bit with this Alistair list, even though I haven't been really good about it lately. I do want to make sure I have it ready to go. I've been really good about writing things on here. I haven't been as good about checking things off when I've done them. So I've done a lot of stuff this week, but I just haven't been checking it off. And I don't know where the resistance is on that. You would think I'd be really excited about getting the stuff done and I would want to um, check it off the list, but for some reason I am just finding resistance there. Usually when I find that I have a lot of resistance to using a particular spread, it means I need to change something about the spread. And so I don't know what that is right now. Double check that okay, we're going to be in week 40. And that is September 29 to October 5th. And I always forget. Okay, so we do the dates on the top and then the days of the week. And this is for important, and that's for done. And then we have 20. So see, I'm changing this up now. I've always had the days of the week on the bottom, and now I'm changing it. We're going to have the days of the week on the top. It's a small change. I don't know that it'll make any kind of difference whatsoever, but that's what I mean. Sometimes I just need a slight visual change up to really kind of trigger using something again, using a particular spread again. So a couple of things that we're going to have going on this month, because this is my kind of planned events. Anything I have tickets for is usually what goes in planned events. The Coffee Monsters Co. is releasing monthly kits for 2026. And I would like to get monthly kits. And we're going to have 2026 set up. So what that means for me is that the 2026 setup stickers. So anything that I need to buy, like tabs or the little stickers that say 2026, things like that. I don't usually buy all of these big stickers. These are stickers that I've gotten in various areas that I have picked up throughout the years, and I have plenty of those. I don't ever need to buy them. Happy for the covers, but I do need things to set up the journal. So I'll need usually the moons and holidays, things like that. All of my little holiday stickers that I use. You guys have seen these little Coffee Day, Inktober, all those kind of things. All of those will need to be purchased. I don't keep those from year to year, so I'm going to need to be getting those sometime in October, or ordering them at least in October so that they're here. The other thing I have down here is you guys may have remembered mentioning that I was going to try and read all of the Myrtlewood books in October. And so there is 13 more books or there are 13 more books I need to read. Um, they're very short, quick reads. So we'll see if I get through them all. But that's my reading that I have planned for October. The main reason that I'm trying to do them all in 1 month is because I have Kindle Unlimited and it will expire shortly after my trial. My free trial will expire shortly after um, the end of October. So I'd like to get those all read before that expires. So hopefully this page looking all cute as it does. We got our little camping emojis hanging out. Hopefully that will keep me interested in coming back and using the calendar page again. I'm finding that, if it's cute and I come to look at this page, I'll likely come and look at this page as well. So hopefully that will work out. So I think that is where I'm going to kind of call it this week. I think I'm good with where we're at on this page. One of the key things for me is going to be getting to these interviews and making sure that they're at the forefront of my mind. I think having this super green color in the mix really does. I could have gone with just these three colors and had a page that really just kind of everything blended together. Throwing this green in the mix from the pumpkin stems, I think really, really is going to bring those interviews to the forefront of my mind and get me ready for those kind of things. I am going to need to prep ahead of those and review company details because when you're applying to so many companies, it's hard to remember one from the other. You read so much when you're filling out applications. And so before I go to an interview, I like to go back and look at the company website and review kind of what they did and why I wanted to apply to that company in the first place. Because I don't apply to companies that I wouldn't want the job at. And so this kind of will keep that at the forefront of my mind and kind of center me for those times. Uh, so anyway, hopefully you guys enjoyed planning with me this week. I think we're a little short today, not too lengthy. And it looks like YouTube has managed to allow me to stay live, so that extender seems to be doing its thing. Hopefully you guys will join me during the week. I've got a bunch of exciting stuff coming up during the week. Videos that I really have enjoyed making, some of them already, and some of them that are, uh, in the process of being made. So hopefully you guys will come join me for those, and I will talk to you later this week. Thanks so much for joining me. Bye.